Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. Let's hop into the next level. So we're having a good run here with the Count Dooku story, which, as long as it doesn't give me a real-time strategy level, I am happy with that. Wait a minute, are we going after General Grievous or Count Dooku? I guess we're going after General Grievous. That just goes to show I'm not paying any attention to the story at all. And that certainly goes to show the vast difference of popularity, at least for people like me, people in my generation of my age, as far as what I genuinely understood about the Star Wars original trilogy and the prequels versus the Clone Wars cartoon, because I have no knowledge really at all of the Clone Wars cartoon. Probably saw just a handful of commercials for it and never watched a single episode. Where in comparison, as not really a Star Wars fan, I still can basically tell you the general story of the original trilogy, and I can muddle through telling the general story of the prequels, even though I haven't actually ever sat down for like a full 2 hours to watch any of the movies. In fact, probably if I ever am gonna do that, it will be with The Force Awakens, and I'll become a true Star Wars fan at that point, which is a possibility, but not even highly likely. Interesting ship they're flying in on. And so we have Anakin and Obi-Wan and R2-D2. And see, this almost feels like the beginning of the complete series again, because it's just like in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, you start in a room, a conference room, and then run down some hallways fighting some, I believe, stormtroopers. They're smashing things. And what are we doing here but running down the hallway? Smashing, we can smash some things while we're running down the hallway. And we can do some stuff here. Yeah, it's not really worth my time. I really screwed up. Now this is definitely different from the game. I really screwed up. R2-D2 has this little zapper that can break things. So I spent 500,000 of my I thought there was going to be more to it than just coming down these steps. I spent 500,000 of my stud count that I should have been saving up for. These are like trains, and I assume the idea is that trains would exist. There was this Star Wars video game that was gonna get released and got canceled, although maybe it really isn't completely canceled. It may have just gotten put on hold a little bit. Called Star Wars 1313, which is an entire planet that is just like one big city, and it has multiple floors, so the entire game was going to take place on the 13th floor, or the 1313th floor. I suppose in Star Wars you could have done a train robbery, and it wouldn't have been too out of line to do just a space robbery. That seems like something that Han Solo would have definitely considered doing, and the Rebels would have probably been happy with it too. Well, this is awkward. Like, the Jedi Force can lift a droid over. Interesting. And then I have to push this button to knock all the crates that were undestroyable before off. Okay. Getting a little bit of a puzzle here in something we haven't seen really before. Seems like they either didn't show the animation to switch between the characters, or it just automatically switched the characters back to Anakin. So the question I would have now is, if we see R2-D2, just gonna drop that guy until we figure out where he's supposed to go. Where is C-3PO? Like, where does he show up? I guess inherently that's the problem with the Clone Wars cartoon, is that they can't really go too far out of the away from the storyline or do anything super like canon breaking. So while Anakin was the main character in the Clone Wars cartoon, you can't really ever put him in danger, because you wouldn't. Because if he died, then episode 4 of the movies doesn't make any sense. So I think we're gonna have R2-D2 stand on this. That's not the only part of it, though. No. There must be more to this. I must have to kill this guy and then break this. Yeah. And then use the Force to do the thing we did before. Now, this level feels pretty video gamey, so I don't know what it would have really looked like in the cartoon to show a sequence like this, but overall the idea is not terrible. Let's come over here, and what are we trying to pick up? Are we trying to pick up this? Nope, not that silver piece. So I imagine I'm just supposed to use this to pick up the rest of the ship. Or maybe I'm supposed to pick up... Well, there's a couple different things I could be trying to pick up. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's that collectible. So, I think R2-D2 needs to stand right about here. And then I need to come over here. Oh, it is something back there that I can't even see. Oh, thanks for making it obvious, game. I'm being sarcastic there, by the way, if anybody didn't catch that. That was completely not obvious. But even a little bit of struggle for me is not a big issue. It just makes the levels go a little bit longer, and we've only really been playing for 9 minutes. It's kind of strange how incredibly short these levels are in LEGO games. And I guess I didn't need to do anything else. We'll get the collectibles and things later. Now the game's lagging. this is particularly why I feel like free play mode. Wow, that sure just jumped to a cutscene. Like, free play mode should just be the default mode. And you play through the level once and take an hour. But it may very well show through market research that people wouldn't play it the first time through trying to get all the collectibles because they just don't know how to. I can't think of a game right now that really pushes you to get all the collectibles the first time you play a game. It's been very consistent in the video game industry that they've wanted you to play levels twice as a way of stretching out the length and just gameplay time in general. There we go. Put out the fire. Another little puzzle. Again, something like this seems like it could have easily been in another section instead of those real-time strategy levels. Yes, I know the game wants me to switch characters, but I figured I guess it's not really even worth it to collect the studs. That score multiplier times 2. But I need to do it. Alright, we'll switch over to the other character. And see, they're just on the other side. That's cool. Again, though, why not split that into 2 separate levels? Why not say, this is the story from one perspective, this is the story from another perspective. You can probably tell the entire incidences of the first, the original trilogy movies from a different perspective, and that would be really interesting to Star Wars fans and non-fans alike. Here's C-3PO, he just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And he works for them, I guess. And look, we've got a little mini game, which, frankly, I'm extremely shocked. Like, he immediately loses all his arms and legs. He's got no weapons. Extremely shocked that mini game exists, because you would have figured you would have seen something like that before. But nope. Then we get another little cutscene. And they're out in the vacuum of space, so they should have all suffocated immediately. It really seems like there's just oxygen in space in the Star Wars universe, which they should go with that idea. That would be really cool if it turned out that there actually was oxygen in space. Right, so there was a Jedi circle that we had to do. And then we close the blast shields. And this feels like a demo for different puzzle locks now. We've seen so many of them now. Like, here's another one. And I do this once. And do it twice. And I hope this works 2 times. Yep. Of course, there's no really reason to walk to a new area as R2-D2. Seems like I can't activate that. See, this level feels really long now. How long have we been playing? 18 minutes. Yeah, that seems really, really long compared to some of the other incidences. Just a little hover him over that way. Well, he made it. He just didn't survive it. There you go. But he can't pick up missiles. So, without some kind of spaceship or something, I'm confused. No, I'm just gonna hover the missile right where it goes. Interesting. That's a cool idea. Let's see. Just hover over here. And the game locks up, of course. I had thought about not even mentioning it, but I have to mention it every time. Otherwise, people will wonder why I'm not mentioning it. So, one over there, and then I fall off the edge. That was my fault. One over there. And so that now brought down the shield, which doesn't make a lot of sense that there would be a shield on that one terminal protected by 4 points on the walls. But I see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to have a sub-boss or mini-boss without doing the same old tired things we've seen before. I kind of assume this is what they want me to do with General Grievous. Let's go ahead and pull this. And that opens one, so we're trying to get out of here, I think. More than actually defeating General Grievous. We'll find all the collectibles and things later. Smash him through the wall. Pull this. Now both blast doors should be open. And I think we can just run through this. Really long. Like, why can't they just make an entire level be the boss fight? It really feels like that they're under this impression that a level has to completely finish the story, or at least a chapter of a story, where I would heavily argue that a level in a video game is more like finishing a paragraph. See, I don't know if I'm supposed to run behind this guy or... Come on, R2-D2. Let's just run out. And see, we're back to this part of the story. It's confusing. It's confusing to have two characters in different sections, even if the things are happening at the same time. It is allowed that characters can tell a story within a story also, so it's not unheard of for a character to go, what were you doing during all that time? And then they recount. So we need red, yellow, green. Red on top, yellow in the middle. Well, whatever. I don't think I did that quite right, but so it didn't even matter like what color you put on it. Okay, and then down the elevator we go, or up the elevator we go. And only certain characters like Robinho. And so this is all the people in charge of the spaceship. Are we on a spaceship? I've forgotten where we were at this point. It's been so long. Like, I seriously do not recall where we were. We were seeing a bunch of, like, train cart things. Let's see. Gonna pull this. Go and pull this. Use the force to plug into that. Use the force to plug into that. Come on, plug in. This was repeated in this level. We didn't need multiple plugins. So I don't know if this is some kind of maybe long-range planetary missile facility or something. Or if this is a spaceship, it seems like we're in space. And see, once these droids have C-3PO in their sights. Look at his face. I can't even make out his face. The graphics look really bad without enhanced graphics on. So are we ready? What am I supposed to do with this? Oh, I am controlling the entire ship. So I'm dragging the ship down to crash into the planet. So that was an interesting thing, using the force as a cursor, but it never gets used anywhere else, and it's probably a little complicated. So, and only certain characters. How can we get this to fire? The ship to go forward. We can't switch. See, am I supposed to fight these enemies? That's seems like we're getting more of them. It doesn't seem like there's a way to stop them from showing up through the elevator. And we've seen many of these washing machines show up that are Sith things. And see, there was one gag where you saw a washing machine in Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, and we've seen it no less than 4 times repeated. I'm gonna switch to her. I was thinking maybe she could do something, but doesn't seem like it. But guess we just go up here. And they get back together, and now it has been 25 minutes. And we were on the spaceship. Took so long. There's another washing machine gag, and it's like, seriously. Don't play the same gag 3 different times in the same level. Still not really sure if General Grievous is a robot or a human. And the screen's locking up, of course. Level complete, free play unlocked. We get another gold brick. We unlock C3PO. So the only character that we really need, I think, is a bounty hunter, probably Robino. And if we unlock him, I wouldn't be surprised if we have to unlock him by collecting all the mini kits in a level. Which level I don't know, but that'd be my guess. I'm not even gonna have 30 gold bricks done by the time we are through with the story mode. There's 4 more levels maybe, and then I think that's kind of it. Yeah, 3 more levels, and then we will have done all of the story mode, and then it will unlock, I think, some more real-time strategy levels, which is what I suspect this is. I suspect this is a real-time strategy 2-player mode here, and a single-player real-time strategy 1-player mode. And once again, I have to do the same thing over and over again. Build this. And get some studs. And I'm not sure it's really worth the effort to even do this, but I bet it is. To clear out the... If I had stud magnet, this would be a little bit easier too, because I might be able to just walk in the general vicinity of these studs over here. We need a million for the next score multiplier, and it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. We didn't see anything for C3PO on this ship, but that isn't to say that there isn't something. It's just to say I didn't see it. And everything else is probably not worth the effort to run around and collect. Somehow the game thinks we've spent 6 hours and 40 minutes on this. If that's true, that would be very surprising. It probably is true, though. We're at 29.1% done. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't make it to 40. I said before 30%, but it looks like we may very well unlock 30%. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're not at 40% by the time we have to either do everything in free play mode, and we'll have to figure out how it's all going to work. If there are a bunch of real-time strategy levels we have to go through, that's probably the next thing we'll grind on and just try and finish. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.